A lot of car enthusiasts spend thousands of dollars on detailing equipment because they see some of the crazy setups here on YouTube and assume that it's all required. And while all that fancy stuff is certainly fun to play with, the truth is, you can make your car look awesome without most of it. So today I'm going to share with you the bare minimum tools that you need for exterior detailing so that you can stop feeling overwhelmed and start focusing on making your car stand out from the crowd. Tool number 1, microfiber towels. You can handle a lot of detailing tasks with the right collection of microfiber towels. I like to divide them up into 3 categories. Gentle towels, these are super fluffy and high quality, typically used for paint correction and wax removal, stuff like that. Then I have everyday towels, which are still really high quality ones, but these are washed often and used for things like drying aids or detail sprays, rinseless washes, that kind of thing. And then we have the crappy towels, which are the lower quality, cheap ones that you can get like from the parts store. These are typically used for dirty things like engine bays, wheels, stuff like that. And these will often just get thrown away rather than being washed. And as the towels get old and stained, they get downgraded to the category below them until eventually they make it right into the garbage can.
Kobe!
Microfiber towels are non-negotiable when it comes to detailing a car. And how you use them is important too. For example, if you use one of these light, fluffy, high-quality ones on your wheels, it's ruined. You can never use this on your paint again. It's going to be filled up with brake dust particles and stuff like that. It'll scratch your paint. And if you use one of these cheap ones to dry your car, first of all, it's probably going to do a horrible job of absorbing water, and more than likely, it's going to put some swirl marks in your paint job. Now, before we move on to the next tool, I've got one more microfiber-related tip for you. Here. These are microfiber sponge applicator blocks, typically used for applying ceramic coatings. But you can use these for other things too, like applying a wax or hand polishing areas. If you don't have a small enough polisher to be able to fit tiny little pads on it, you can polish things by hand with these. And much like the towels that you use to level it afterwards, if you use this to apply a ceramic coating, it's a one-time use thing because the coating is going to crystallize in there and harden, and that can scratch your paint if you use it again. But don't throw these in the garbage when you're done with them. Lately, I have started using these things to apply tire dressings, and they work awesome. As you can see, this one is super dirty. I've been using this on tires. You don't have to worry about the crystallized coating scratching the rubber of your tires. May as well use them for something like that. Tool number 2, wheel brushes. Depending on the design of your wheels, you're going to need an assortment of brushes in order to clean them thoroughly. On really simple wheels with a lot of wide open areas, you can sometimes get away with just reaching everything with an old wash mitt like this. I actually prefer the feeling of this, but in the cases where I can't reach everything, that's when I break out the brushes. You'll want a long, skinny one like one of these in order to reach into the inner wheel barrels as well as into the corners of the spokes. And a more stiff bristled brush for cleaning the rubber of your tires. And one like this is also pretty helpful for doing like the faces of the wheels, but also up into the fender liners and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to reach your suspension components and stuff with a longer handle and a nice soft bristle on it. And then if you have some really intricate areas, you might want a smaller kind of a boar's hair brush like this. I use this for like around lug nuts and stuff like that. And the nice thing about all of these brushes is that they're actually dual purpose. You can reuse them for other dirty things like your engine bay or your exhaust tip or your suspension. Tool number 3, a pressure washer. I almost didn't include this one on the list because you can totally wash a car with just a garden hose and a nozzle set to the shower setting. But the nice thing about a pressure washer is that it has a much better spray pattern for washing cars, and it does a much better job at removing contaminants like stuck-on bug guts and stuff like that before you touch the car. It also allows you to use a foam cannon for extra lubrication. Those two things combined make it a lot easier to avoid creating swirl marks. Just be reasonable with it. You don't need more than 1,000 psi and keep it at a safe distance from the car. Now, I did a whole separate video on my specific setup here, but the short story is that I have a Karcher K1700 Cube pressure washer. I just got this off of Amazon. And then I got the upgrade kit from Obsessed Garage that includes a different wand and nozzle and a better hose as well. It's certainly not as fancy as some of the other pressure washers out there, but this has served me well and done the job for me for many years. The key takeaway here is that a pressure washer isn't 100% necessary unless you're A, washing really muddy vehicles regularly, or B, your paint is pretty flawless and you want to keep it that way. Tool number 4, a leaf blower. You can only dry your car so much with a towel. In order to get all of the water out of the cracks and crevices, you'll need a blow dryer. Otherwise, you're guaranteed to find water drips coming from behind your trim or your taillights as soon as you drive your car the next time after washing it. It's pretty frustrating. And yeah, you can buy one of those fancy car-specific ones from companies like Metrovac or Big Boy, but the truth is, a leaf blower like this does the job just fine. A battery-powered blower from Ego with a stubby nozzle on it is a really popular option, but I've been using this Works WG520 for years, and it works awesome. Wait, that's why they call it that. To be honest, the cord is a little bit annoying in today's battery-powered world, but this thing has tons of CFM to be able to dry a car. Tool number 5, a dual-action polisher and pads. Finally, I believe every detailing enthusiast should own a dual-action polisher. Even if you're not ready to attempt a paint correction, using an all-in-one polish like this to do a paint enhancement is the best way to make your car look amazing. Anybody can do it, and if you want me to teach you, there's a link down below. Whether you get a long throw or a short throw polisher, it doesn't really matter, it's up to you. Just know that unless you're a professional that's polishing cars all day, every day, you don't need a rack full of different machines and sizes on your wall. You can actually change the backing plates to different sizes to fit smaller areas. And while that might slow you down while you're polishing a car, it will save you a few $100. This Griot's Garage short throw machine is a great example of that because it came set up to use 6-inch pads on it, and I got a smaller backing plate so I can use 3-inch pads to reach tighter spots. As far as pads go, it really depends on the kind of work you're going to be doing. If you're going to be doing a paint correction, you'll need different pads for cutting and refining. But if you're just looking to gloss it up with a paint enhancement, you can stick with just one type of foam pad. And while I'm preaching simplicity in this entire video, this is one time where I'm going to say that it's better to spend some extra money here. You see, one of the things that I teach in my paint enhancement workshop is that you really need to buy 4 or 5 pads at least if you're going to be polishing a car. And that's because as you work, the pad gets filled up and clogged with spent product and clear coat residue. And that hurts its performance bigly. And while you could stop what you're doing to wash out your pad and wait for it to dry, it's far more efficient to just swap it with a fresh one and keep on going. You can wash all of them together when you're done working on the car. If you try to polish an entire car with just one pad, the first couple of panels that you do will have great results. But by the time you work your way around the rest of the car, you're going to start to notice that you're barely making a difference. It's because your pad's clogged up. So buy a few, swap them out regularly, and your car will look awesome. Now, keep in mind that this is just for the budget-conscious folks. There's nothing wrong with buying a bunch of cool equipment if you think that you'll have fun using it. Just know that it's not always necessary. The truth is, if you can't make a car look awesome using just these things in this video, chances are you have a skill issue and not an equipment issue. So the next time you're watching detailing videos online, try to focus a little more on the strategies and the techniques that they're using and less on the brand of the pressure washer. And if you found this helpful, then you're going to love this video where I share how to replace 6 products with just one.